Hey angels, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really excited about today's video because I'm doing an honest, open, girly Q&A. We're going to be talking about a lot of girly things and just getting to know each other a little better. I love doing Q&As and like answering your guys' questions, but I would love it if every single one of you chose one question from this video, wrote it in the comments, and wrote your answer, because not only do I want to like share myself, but I really want to get you to know you guys better. So if you're interested in participating, I think it would be a really good way to just get to know you guys better and to know our community, because we have an amazing community. I'm so blessed with every single one of you, but I just thought that would be a fun thing to do. So choose one question, whichever question just like hits home for you, or even if it's just a simple question. Leave me a comment down below and answer it, because I really do want to know all of your answers. So I've been reading through these and there are some pretty juicy ones, let me tell you. So I'm just gonna go. Oh my gosh, how does Jalen help you when you're PMSing? Oh my gosh, this is a great question, because I am definitely like a dramatic queen whenever I'm PMSing, little princess. And every time, I kid you not, the week before, I always get so much attitude. I'm like, ugh. Like, I get so attitudey, and every single time he's like, what's the date today? He's like, is it near the middle of the month? Because it used to be the end of the month. Now it's the middle. My cycle changed. He's like, oh, what's the date today? Like, every time I get like super attitudey, or I'm like, ugh, I don't want to do that. Like, sometimes I do that and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to check myself. But it happens. Like, you can't really control it. Sometimes that's just life. So whenever I start acting attitudey, I think he just has a lot of patience with me, especially during that time, because he knows like my body, all the hormones and everything going on is just crazy. So he's just very patient with me, and he's like, kind of makes a joke about it, like, oh, looks like someone's about to start her period. And I'm like, you're making it worse. Do you take birth control? I do not take birth control. I never have. I mean, TMI, but when we first got married, like, we'd always use condoms. And then now Jalen just like the method, he's really good about that. So no, I don't take birth control, but we're not trying to have babies right now. We're still waiting. But since we do that method and I don't take birth control, it could happen, which I'm completely fine with. I thought about it for a little while because I have super heavy periods, and during that time of the month, I can get really bad cramps. But luckily I have this job where I can just stay home. So when I do have bad cramps and when I feel like I can't move at all, well, I never have that bad of cramps, but you know, like when I don't want to leave the house or go to work or school or wherever, luckily I don't have to. I kind of just like cope with it because I don't really know like a lot about birth control, and I'm very cautious of what I put into my body. And there are just like a lot of different things that it does to your body. And I'm like, no, thank you. So luckily I'm in a position where I don't have to take it. But yeah, that's the tea. This kind of goes into the next question. Have you guys been trying for a baby? No, we have not. I have said this many times, but I'll just repeat it 100 more times. I don't think I want to start having kids until at least 25. I think right now Jalen and I both really want to grow and we want to mature. That way when we have a baby, we are able to give them the life that we've always wanted to give our children. But my biggest dream ever is to be a mom. So in a few years from now, we'll probably start trying. But for now, we are enjoying our puppies and our time together alone. We want to do more traveling and that kind of stuff. So not trying for babies yet. Would you recommend young marriages? Here's the thing. I know that everybody has a different story. Everybody has a different journey throughout life. And I'm not gonna say like yes, you should get married young, or you should wait until you're 30 to get married, or whatever, because everybody's story is different. What works for me might not work for you, and what works for you might not work for me. In my life, yes, it was amazing to get married young and to be able to experience all the things with the love of my life at such a young age. I don't think that's for everyone, but it was my journey. So I'm not gonna say I recommend or I don't recommend getting married young. Whatever feels best for you and that you've prayed about and thought a lot about, I think that's your answer. When you find the love of your life, like there's no certain way you're supposed to do it or certain time period. Everyone has a different journey. So get married at any age, you know what I'm saying? What is your favorite thing about yourself? Whoa. I would love for you guys to answer this in the comments. This is one question, I mean all of them I'd love for you to answer, but this is one question that I'm really curious about because I think it's good. I feel like it's like taboo to be like, oh, my favorite thing about myself, blah, 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 because you're like, oh, that's so arrogant, that's so whatever. But I think it's actually beautiful. It's beautiful. You need to love yourself and be confident in yourself before you love other people, because you won't be able to fully do that if you can't fully love yourself. My favorite thing about myself is, I mean, there's just so many. I'm just kidding. I would say my love for other people. I love, like genuinely, I can't explain it. It's just like whenever I think of others, like the love in my heart is just like that warm, fuzzy feeling. I love seeing when other people succeed, when my friends, anyone who I follow on Instagram, family members, anyone, when I see them like do something amazing or succeed or do whatever, like it makes me the happiest. And I think that's one of my favorite things. Is that like a favorite thing about yourself? I don't know. I love that I'm genuinely happy for others and that I genuinely love others. I don't know if that's like a thing that you love about yourself, but I guess that's like the trait that I love. I don't know. What do you guys love about yourselves? I would love to know, because that's not a question that you really answer a lot, and it's kind of something that you have to be like, huh, what do I love about myself? Because you don't really think about that. It's not like you're like, oh my gosh, yes, I have the best hair and my nails and like, oh, my butt is so big, and like, you know, like you don't think about that stuff. How to feel confident in new clothing. This is a really good question. I would say buy clothing that fits you well. And if it doesn't fit you well, like maybe it's too baggy in one place, get your clothing tailored. You might be like small, medium, large, whatever, but every single body that fits into a small, they're all different. That fits into a medium, they all are different. Some have wider hips, some have a smaller waist, a bigger waist, broader shoulders. There's so many different things. So I think that tailoring your clothes to fit your body perfectly, obviously you might not want to do that for like Forever 21 clothes, but if you're investing in like good pieces that you're gonna be able to wear and wear and wear, like denim, always get your denim tailored. Always, always. I think that is the best way to feel most confident, because it's like it's almost made for you. And definitely invest in pieces that like you kind of know in the back of your head, like, oh, okay, what are my staple pieces? What do I feel good in? What does my body look good in? So for me, I love wrap dresses. I feel like they flatter my figure very well. Figure out what flatters your body type and what you feel like a boss in, and just go from there. Dream designer bag. Definitely an Hermes Birkin or an Hermes Kelly for sure. I mean, this is my dream designer bag. Does life ever feel boring and a bit empty some days? Yes, it completely does. Those days, they don't come by too often, but there definitely are those days where I'm like, you explained it so well. Does life ever feeling boring and a bit empty some days? Some days it does, but being surrounded by people you love and watching good movies, I don't know. It does, and I think there's nothing you can really do about it, because those days are gonna happen no matter what, no matter how like filled with activities your life is, there are always going to be days like that. So I think just like kind of accepting it and knowing like, okay, tomorrow's not going to be like that. And even if it is, well, it's not always going to be like that. What is your biggest insecurity and how do you cope with that? Biggest insecurity. I would say insecurity like looks wise. I have like a few like vanity insecurities, but I have to remember that especially when you're like scrolling on Instagram, you're just like, oh my gosh, all these girls are so perfect. Like everything is like going through Vogue. Oh my gosh, they're so skinny, blah, blah, blah. Like there's so many reasons that we as women can be like feel like we're not good enough or feel unconfident and look in the mirror and see something that other people don't see. I think the best advice that you could give yourself, and I really want you to listen to this and really take it in, because I have to do this all the time. I think that you should treat yourself the way that you treat your best friend. You're not going to tell your best friend like, oh my gosh, you look so fat. Look at your stomach. Looks like you put on some pounds. Your teeth are crooked. Whatever the case is. Like, you would never say that to your best friend. So why on earth would you say that to yourself? Why on earth? And no one would ever say it to you either. And the people who do are just dumb and insecure in themselves. So treat yourself the way that you would treat your best friend or your sister or someone who you love so much. You would never, ever in a million years call them fat or say like, oh, looks like your thighs have gotten bigger. Like, I mean, maybe some people do, but that's not my journey. And I don't think that anybody should ever do that, but whatever. But I definitely don't think that you should do that to yourself either, ever. That's kind of how I cope with that. I still obviously have so many moments where I'm like looking at myself in the mirror, I'm like, are you kidding me? Like, why do I look like that right now? But I think just also realizing that everyone, the most beautiful people in the entire world, they all have insecurities. There are some people who are just like completely confident in themselves, and that's such a beautiful thing. Oh my gosh, confidence is one of the most beautiful traits that any person could have. But just realizing that like the small little things that you notice about yourself, nobody else notices. And if they do, it's probably because they're insecure about it themselves. And I think also what helps me be more confident as well is when I see people on Instagram just posting unfiltered, unedited pictures. Some of my favorite people to follow are the ones that they don't even put filters on their photos. You can see their pimples, you can see their peach fuzz. I just try to follow real people because the people that you follow do influence your life. I've noticed like with YouTubers that I've watched, I've picked up some of their traits and I'm like, oh my gosh, I started saying this because so-and-so says it. So you have to be very careful about the content and all of that is coming in to your brain and mind and body, because it can play a major role. If you're just looking at Kylie Jenner's feed all day, love Kylie so much, but that's not real. That's not realistic, you know? She's like, her aesthetic is beautiful, perfect human, but that's not everyone. That's not like, you know, so I love following real people with real bodies, with unedited pictures, because it makes me feel beautiful knowing that, you know what? I don't have to wear makeup today. I don't have to not buy this dress because it doesn't flatter my body type, you know? It's like you can, I don't know. I just think that the more and more of like raw, real people that we have in our feed and all of that, it makes us more confident because it shows like, oh, we don't have to be perfect. Like, it's okay if we have a little fat. It's okay if our teeth aren't perfectly straight, because we were fearfully and wonderfully made by the man upstairs. And I think that's also another huge thing. I know this question is going on for so long, but just knowing that God made each and every one of us individually beautifully. He didn't make a mistake. He's like, I don't like this girl that much. Let me just give her a little bit of this. No, God made you beautiful as you are. Does your heart function perfectly? Are you able to breathe? Do you wake up every single day does your brain function? Everything inside of your body is beautiful. So just realizing that and just being more grateful for all of that and not really focusing on like the vain things, because the outside isn't what makes you beautiful, it's what's inside. So focusing on bettering that. Anyways, I know that was such a long answer, but I hope that helped. I'd love to know what you guys think too. How do you keep the romance alive after being together for so long? Ooh. So that's the kind of tea you want. I would say it's just kind of natural. Nothing is forced. I think it's just we've made it a habit to be romantic and intimate and do that kind of stuff, and it's fun, it's beautiful, it's a beautiful thing. I don't know, it's just so easy that it's like I'm having trouble thinking of like, how do we keep the romance alive? Just because it's just so easy. Maybe just don't overthink it. Figure out what your husband or wife's love language is. I probably also the reason that it's really easy is because Jalen and I have the same love languages. So that might be another reason. But if your spouse has a different love language and shows love and needs love in a different way, just figure out what that is and go from there. But I think it's just making it a habit to always be lovey and to show love and show appreciation, because appreciation and love turns into intimacy. Do you want kids? Yes, so bad. So bad. I cannot wait to be a mom. I love children so much. I don't have, well, obviously you guys know I don't have kids, but I love babies. I love children. I always have. If I wasn't doing YouTube, I would probably be a teacher, but I just love kids. So yes, I do want kids eventually, and I can't wait, but I will wait. Not a question, but if one day you and Jalen broke up, I'll stop believing in love. Oh. I doubt that will ever happen. Like literally 120% sure that will never happen. I kid you not. But that's actually something that I kind of think about, because you see all these like celebrities and all these like online relationships, and you're like, you always wonder in the back of your head, you always wonder if they're gonna last, because relationships in the media and all of that typically don't last. And I think that the reason our relationship is really strong is because we don't, like, we're on YouTube, but that's like less than 0.5% of our relationship. We just put each other as priorities for each other, and I don't know, it's just interesting because you see all these people online. Like, remember Alexis Ren and Jay Alvarez? Like, they always posted like the cutest pictures together and blah, 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 and then they broke up. And like, there's so many couples online that have done that. And like, that's why I'm like, I don't care if we post pictures together or not. Like, I love posting pictures with him, but I don't do that just to show like, oh, this is my relationship, blah, blah, blah. And I don't need to write a long Instagram caption. Not that I don't, I definitely do. Sometimes it's fine to do that. But I don't need to write a long Instagram caption about how much I love Jalen, because I can just do that to him, and like I can say it to him. So most of our relationship is not online at all. All of our relationship is not online, if that makes sense. So there's only like snippets that I share about our relationship, and I think that's a reason why it is successful and why it, you know, it's not like I'm trying to show off like, oh, I have the best husband, blah, blah, blah. He's a part of my life, and our relationship is a major part of my life, so that's why it is shown. Dang, this is a deep one. I mean, it's not that deep, it's just like a question, but what are your long-term career goals? I think I just live in the moment a lot, so I don't really, like, I have goals in the back of my head, but I just live day to day. So I don't know. I want to be a mom. I'd love to create something of my own and have my own brand. Hopefully to just inspire people. That's kind of like a broad answer, but I don't know what my long-term career goal is, to be honest. I mean, that's like a hard question. What's your lifelong career goal? Long-term career goal. I would love to know yours, because maybe that will help me decide like what a good answer for that is, because I don't know. How do you deal with being on your period since you're married? I think I know what you know, trying to say. So my period is like 5 or 6 days long. The first 2 days it's like extremely heavy, so there's like not even. But then like the last few days it gets kind of light, and like you take a shower after. That's like TMI, but like I probably should not put that online. Okay, but like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, a week of a period is a long time to wait, you know what I mean? So how do you deal with being on your period when being married? Just ignore it. I'm just kidding. Oh, this is like way TMI. I hope nobody's watching this. Oh gosh. What's your favorite perfume of all time? This is just like a few of my perfumes. I'm such a perfume girl, so I can't say that I have like a #1 favorite. I'm thinking of making a video about like all my favorite perfumes, but I'm the type of person where like scent, I feel like scent is one of my love languages. Is that weird? Certain memories and different things are associated with scent with me, so anytime I smell something, I'm like, oh my gosh, that reminds me of blah, blah, blah. I like to rotate my perfumes. I don't have like a signature scent, but I'll make a video about it. But I love like wearing ones, like a certain one in Wisconsin, or this is my California scent for like different phases of my life. So whenever I smell them, I just get happy and remember those memories. So that's kind of what I do. Whenever I record a video, I have a certain scent on. Whenever I am going on a date with Jalen, I have my Burberry on because he got me this for, I think, like our first year anniversary or something. So every time we go on a date, I have my Burberry on. And I just like, I love doing that because it just, there's like just such good feelings and such good associations to each scent. But my all-time favorite is Flower Bomb for sure. That's like no doubt about it. I love Flower Bomb so much. Like, honestly though, the packaging isn't that cute. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I love displaying my perfumes and stuff, but the Flower Bomb one is like, it doesn't go with any of my other perfumes, you know? It's just like, So if I could put Flower Bomb in a different bottle, yes. But it just doesn't match my aesthetic, so I actually don't have a full-size version of it. I just have a bunch of like little travel roller balls. Anyways, thank you for like sitting here while I rambled on. I hope that some of you hopefully have finished your makeup if you were getting ready with me. Yeah. I love you guys. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch. I appreciate every single one of you, and I pray for you guys constantly. You guys are everything to me. So feel free to anytime send me a DM, send me a message. Just say hi and let's have some conversations. I love you guys, and I will see you next time.